What's up guys? Today we're going to talk about the 5 things you need to bring to your first event and tournament and how to prepare for it. Now I know a lot of first events might be pretty daunting. Going to a tournament can be kind of scary. What if you forget your rules? What if you're too slow? What if you lose all your games? And honestly, you don't really need to worry about any of that. At all the tournaments I've been to, people have been very kind, they've been very nice and supportive. Especially if you're a new player, people are always happy to help. It's a great way to get in with your community and meet new people. Firstly, you're going to need your army, which is pretty obvious. As you can see right here, I have my Alpha Legion laid out. They're all painted and ready for battle. One thing you might need to change though is they're not based. If you're going to an event that scores for fully painted, you're going to want to make sure your guys are painted and based, otherwise you won't get the full points. A lot of official events have been doing this nowadays, so just check into it. Along with the army, you need your dice and measuring tape. You can always borrow from people if you need, but it's not very professional and yeah, just bring your stuff. Secondly, you're going to need your codex and all your rules. This includes data cards and stratagem cards, psychic powers, supplements, anything you need for that. Make sure you know what stratagems and psychic powers you're likely going to be using and bringing, and put those cards on the top of your deck before the event starts so that you don't have to sift through your deck while you're explaining to your opponent what you have or in the middle of a game. If you really want to, you can put markers in your codex so that you don't have to flip through your whole thing to find your rules that you need. This is especially important if you're trying to go fast, if you have a time limit, which almost all events have time limits. The time limit might seem daunting, but as long as everyone there kind of knows what they're doing, it usually isn't a big deal. I've been able to finish all my games, and the last tournament I went to I think was about 2 hours for 2,000 points, maybe even less, and I know we got it done. So the best way to know your rules and be quick with it and not need to look at your codex is by practicing. Try to get lots of practice games in before the tournament so you can test out lists, you can learn your rules, you can learn everything you need to learn. If you don't have this option, that's okay, just study your codex and watch some videos maybe. Thirdly, you'll need your list. You'll likely need to send in your list before the events, as almost all events have this, and you can just send it through email or whatever they need. You can make your list really easily on BattleScribe, just an app for your phone, or you can do paper and pencil if you need to. Either one works. You're also going to want to bring your list to the event so that if you need to, you can show it to someone, and when you're explaining during setup what you're bringing, you can give it to your opponent so that they can read along while you're explaining everything. Make sure to ask for your opponent's list as well while they're describing what they're bringing, so that you don't have to be surprised by any war gear or warlord traits that you missed in their army because you forgot to listen at the beginning of the game. Make sure your opponent understands what you're bringing as well. It's never very sportsmanly to spring something on them that they didn't know before. Mention any combos that you have in your army, such as simple things like your Chaos Lord lets you reroll 1s within 6 inches of them, to stratagems like Endless Cacophony for Noise Marines, where you can shoot twice in one phase. It's not very nice to have gotcha stratagems, and you can't expect everyone to know all the stratagems of your army because there's just too many to keep track of. There's the question going around where if you should tell your opponents that your Devastator squad can use the Auspex stratagem or whatever when the Scourge's Deep Strike within 12 inches of them. I'm very much of the opinion that you should tell your opponents before they make the move, as it's just sportsmanly, and you really can't expect people to know these stratagems. It's just plain rude to spring gotchas, and it's not really a real way to win. So if your opponent's going to make a big mistake like that, maybe mention, hey, my Devastator squad can shoot at guys within 12 inches of them if I spend a command point. You might want to consider deep striking outside of 12 inches. That's just very nice and sportsmanly. Fourthly, you need to bring deodorant and good hygiene. It might seem like a bit of a meme, but it's very, very real, and it seems to be a bigger problem than you would think. Honestly, most guys do understand this, most guys are pretty good with this, but there's always 1 or 2 guys, maybe more, at a tournament who are just, smelly, and you don't want to be that guy. Be considerate of others. Wash your clothes, take a shower, put on deodorant, and if you want some extra points, even brush your teeth. It got so bad at my store that they had to make a rule that you can't play Warhammer there if you smell bad, so please, just be kind to others. You're going to be stuck in a room with people for multiple hours. You're going to be playing with an opponent who's standing right across the table from you or even beside you at times. It's not very nice to make them smell you the whole time. Fifth and lastly, you're going to want a good attitude. Now, don't go to a tournament needing to win all of your games. You might not win, and that's okay. Remember, it's just for fun, especially if it's your first tournament. Just try to have fun. Maybe go with the goal of winning 1 game, even if that's it. That's good enough for a lot of people. If you go in needing to win all of your games, if you lose one, it's likely going to ruin the whole day for you, and you're going to be unhappy, and you might not be playing very nicely if that's the case as well. Be a good sport. It's a lot more fun if you're friendly to others, and almost every game you play, it's going to be against a very friendly opponent. At least in my community, everyone's very nice. There's always going to be one or two guys who are the big power gamers who are rude, and they might fast roll you, and they have the greasiest list you've ever seen, and that's whatever. If you get paired with those guys first round, then I'm sorry, that sucks. But at least be happy that you won't have to deal with them later on, because they'll likely go to the winner's bracket, and just try to have fun and be friendly at the time while you're playing. If there are really bad guys there, and some guys might be really rude or really just like cheating at some points, just tell the event organizer or the store that's running it. Overall, it will likely be a very friendly and fun event. Bonus points, you can bring a lunch and a water bottle. Now, playing Warhammer on an empty stomach is not fun. It gets you very grumpy. Personally, I hate playing Warhammer when I'm hungry. I just want the game to be done, and it's no good. Bring a lunch or be prepared to go out with some guys. That's always fun. It's cheaper to bring a lunch and healthier. Well, those are the 5 things. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like the merch, you can check out Imperial Strength, link below. Use code deadlifts10 for 10% off. The Attack on Titan and the Baki collections are discontinuing soon for the new collections to come out, so get them while you can. Check out the Patreon and Instagram if you want to support me at Deadlifts for the Dark Gods. Thanks for watching, guys. I love you guys. Work hard out there and stay jacked.